Good afternoon. My name is Philip Pandy. This is for week 4 discussion, and we were going on the video in regards to teaching patterns and how we need to adapt for the students. I do hope to go into a science class, junior high. So at the end of the day, the when we're looking at strategies and types of directing, it's simply a way of vocabulary words, learning and processing, and going through patterns. So I believe that we would have the opportunity to allow students that are not keen with the vocabulary words to give directions or understanding of the words and not hold them accountable to be verbatim. I do believe that at the end of the day, if they can understand the concept, then that's what's going to make it literally make the motion. That would be one, because at the end of the day, we just want them to have the concept and know what's going on. Then two, we were talking about other ways. So if we're talking about the process, how they put the process together, what forms and what steps. So long they get them in the right order, explaining what's supposed to go through, that would be an adaptation. So instead of going, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, give me the names of it, if you can explain what it is in the proper order, then you can get credit for it. I do believe that that's another way of adaptation for the learners, for the people that can't. Then we do have groups. Sometimes the groups may need to go ahead and interact to help them learn. As in, even for me, one of my things is I need to go ahead and tell you what's going on, so then that way I can process it and get it clear. So you tell me, we talk about it, I repeat it back to you. So definitely that would be something that I would love to go ahead and integrate in my classroom. The fact of being able to go ahead and talk about plants, cell structures, things such as that, and go, all right, great, you get it, you understand the concept of it, and go from there. The other thing that we wanted to talk about was so we were talking about inclusion, because we've now adapted everything that I mentioned. So we talked about making sure that they understood vocabulary by giving a definition as they word it to the best of their ability without having to recall the exact words. We talked about working in groups. We talked about as we talk about processes, you may not remember the words of the process, but you can recall the actual the process of how it's supposed to do when you're doing an experiment, going in that order. So these are adaptations that I would allow in my class, because at the end of the day, it's making sure that the student understands the process, the thought of what's going on, and that they're getting it, and how they get it is where we are, because as teachers, we know that everyone doesn't learn the same. So that would be 3. And we talked about talking in groups, so that way we go ahead and get through it. I do believe that those are things that I would be able to do in my classroom, to go ahead and make sure that they get full credit, to also make sure that they understand what they're learning. That is actually key of our job, our career, is to go ahead and make sure that they're learning and processing and going from there, and they can take that knowledge that we've given them and move on to the next level. So all in all, I think that's how I would incorporate these new techniques into my classroom when I get into it, because this will also allow me to adapt for our learners. Once we recognize how they learn, how they process, and how they regurgitate the information. So with that, all in all, I think that may be great for my classroom, and it's not only showing my will to be flexible, but showing my will to actually think outside the box. And remember that the basic thing is we want them to learn and want to learn, and to highlight the things that they can do best. Thank you. Have a wonderful week.